All right, guys, we are back. The Geen promotional video just dropped. It's looking fire. I'm not gonna lie. He's actually looking very nice. I never have been such a huge fan of Geen. Nevertheless, he does look sick. But today's video, we're gonna try going over the points of whether you should pull for Geen or not. So he is supposed to be dropping tomorrow, I believe, depending on your time zone, obviously. I'm here in Germany, in Europe, so for us he will be dropping tomorrow. Tomorrow there will also be a maintenance, right? And after that, Geen will be available. Now Rangiku won't be available directly. They will release her at a later point, I believe 2 or 3 weeks after that. Or no, wait, she should be released on the 16th actually, so next week maybe. And she will be given out completely free, so her stamp, her weapon, and everything will be given out completely free, which is huge, right? And they will be given roughly 2,000 spirit jades as well with that. Now, I already covered in a separate video the entire kit of Geen, so we're not going to fly really over that, right? We did cover his dupe system, so we know at A6 he becomes a DOT character, but not even fully, just a hybrid DOT. So that sort of ties into the synergy with Kaname. As of now, if you have Kaname and Ikaku, that's actually your team, your Thrust team to go. Because that team has a good synergy. Ikaku deals sort of, yeah, I mean, he's supposed to be the DPS, but sort of Kaname out DPSs him most of the time, right? Ikaku still is necessary because he's a necessary charger for Kaname to maximize Kaname's damage output, right? So Geen won't really have a synergy with that aspect. Regardless, he's going to be a limited thrust character, so it is going to be the case that he's definitely going to be better than at least Ikaku. If he's going to be much better than Kaname, you can't really say that because Kaname is a battlefield character, right? He's a tactics character, and he brings a lot of utility to the game, which a DPS doesn't. So the natural team would be something like Geen, Kaname, and most likely Rangiku, or if you have Kisuke, obviously then Kisuke. So now the question is, should you actually pull for Geen? Now, in my opinion, he's a highly skippable character. Why am I saying that? Because if we're taking a look at the game, like my state, for example, obviously I'm not free to play. I got A6, A5, B5 Eisen, so he's fully maxed, right? Regardless, in my case, I don't really see the necessity of actually getting Geen because Eisen literally solos the entire game. I already cleared literally every content in the game just with Eisen, even every single trial tower, regardless of whether it's Spirit or not. I just cleared everyone until 15. And that's all with one character, Eisen, which is just broken because he's not even a DPS. In a sense, he's supposed to be a sub DPS. However, at obviously maximum dupes, he becomes a maximum fully crazy DPS, dealing more damage than Ichigo or even Toshiro, right? So if you are, let's go even more into detail. If you are a new player, say for example you just started the game, is it worth for you getting Geen if you do not have Eisen at that point and you're not willing to, like, say, for example, you don't want to spend money in the game, you don't want to max out Eisen, then yes, Geen becomes definitely viable. Geen is definitely a good character to then actually pull because it will allow you to run a good thrust team. If you then pull Kaname, or if you have him already, then that's already solid. If you are already in the game, and let's say, for example, you're in a similar position like I am, you have Eisen, let's say at least at A4. A4 makes him, unlocks his DPS potential. Then in such a scenario, I'd actually say it depends if you really still want to have a good thrust squad or not. If you're saying like, I have Ikaku, I have Kaname, I have Kisuke, I don't really need Geen, then that's totally viable. And that's actually a good approach because somewhat it feels like that they made Geen on purpose release after Aizen, because Aizen's kit is just too good. And it also feels like Gin is per default a skippable character because of how broken Aizen has just been the last couple of weeks, actually, right? So obviously he's still standing in sort of the shadow of Aizen. So again, my final verdict is, if you have Aizen, if you're willing to spend to game to A4, do not pull Gin. That's my opinion. If you are new to the game and you have, like, say for example, if you have A0 Aizen and you have you're looking for a good thrust team, then obviously Gin becomes viable. If you're wanting to run if you have Ikkaku and Kaname and Kisuke, then getting Gin can be good. Obviously, he's gonna deal more damage than Ikkaku. But I'm still assuming that Ikkaku and Kaname are actually going to be sufficient. I will be covering Gin's gameplay and doing a full review once he actually drops as well. So we're going to highlight all of this again. I might even change my opinion once he drops, if he's going to be producing crazy damage numbers. But I highly doubt it. And as for newer players or free-to-play players, it depends on your resources, as always. Bleach Soul Resonance is a game where you will have to skip naturally 1 or 2 characters here and there, right? It's not feasible pulling characters every month if you want to remain F2P. That being said, with this current patch, we're expected to get Jade's worth of 75 pulls, which should more or less guarantee a 1 copy of Gin. And this is only the events of 2 weeks. The third week probably is going to give another 10 pulls guaranteed. So we're gonna have the chance for every player to hit pity this month, free to play or not, and pull at least 1 copy of Gin, probably with his weapon as well. We'll see what the week 3 events are going to be like, right? So yeah, that's the current state of the game, and that's the my pull recommendation on Gin. If you have any questions regarding Gin, like if you're still unsure if you should pull him or not, then do let me know down below. Like, you can tell me what kind of characters you have in your box, at what ascension levels or stages they are, and which kind of contents you're currently struggling with, and I can literally tell you if it's worth for you getting Gin, or if it's better to hold off and wait for somebody else in the future. So yeah, as always, I'm gonna conclude here. Thanks for tuning in. Take care of yourselves. Until next time.